Okay, good. It's recorded. All right, everybody, please show your support to this channel. Wow, that's a lot longer than I realized. I'll leave a link in the description. This is a how-to video of how to make an anti-nano device. What this does is it helps like immediately pull all those heavy metals out of your system. Not just heavy metals, but a lot of the metallic and aluminum substances that's coming from these chemtrails. That includes the nanotech as well. The reason why, like, you constantly have all this stuff beaming on you all the time, all this and directed energy weapons and stuff like that, this will help you literally cut that stuff off. I will warn you though, fellow TIs out there, it is important to make yourself one of these, because if you do plan on going off grid, you're definitely going to want to have one of these on hand. Anyway, without further ado, I will only play just the just the introductory part of this video. The rest of it, you can go straight to the channel. The description will be the link to it will be in the description, so you can watch the rest for yourself. I guess I'll just cover for at least no more than 10 minutes of this. I claim no copyright for this. Stay safe, stay strong, everybody. Let me pause that. Because of the potential for electrical shock, please note that this video describes how to make a device intended for low voltage DC power only and not AC line voltage. If you are not 100% clear on the instructions provided in this video, you are doing so at your own risk and should consult with an electrician or similar professional. This product will generate an electrical magnetic field. And sorry about that. Let me just take care of that. Just give me a second. Got to figure out what I did with the cord. And there it is. Alright, back in business. Okay, this product will generate an electrical magnetic field. Like I said, you need an EMF or an EMP basically to kill this stuff off. Electrical magnetic field. That will help you kill it off, but like, you don't want to just kill this stuff off. You want it out of your system too. Okay, and it's not suitable to be used on an individual susceptible to harm due to an electrical magnetic field, such as a person using a pacemaker. Ah, yes. Anybody using such a thing like that should not be using anything like this, for it is dangerous.
Alright, welcome to another segment with Dave and myself. Today you're going to be high-tech. We are going to show you how to make the bucket. Okay, now, for those of you who are challenged with this kind of stuff, okay, we're going to try to make this as simple as possible. This is what it's going to look like when it's done. Okay.
So reference what video are we referring to? The anti-nano device.
Anti-nano device, right? Yeah. Anti-nano bucket. We're going to make here an anti-nano bucket. Now, this is what yours is going to look like. Now, when you guys get good, you're going to advance. You got a 3-coil, and I'll show you that too, how that was done, how that evolved. So we're going to get a whole 5-gallon bucket, okay? So just showing you what it's going to look like. Nothing inside, just wires and everything else, okay? I'm going to put this down here so I don't trip over the wire. Should be falling all over the place. Now, this is nothing special. This is just a magical bucket. Okay? Bucket. That's all it is. Bucket. You know, I did forget one. I forgot scissors, but I'm going to see if we can do it with a knife. Now, what you're going to do is take some tape for simplistic purposes, okay? And we're you don't have to do this. You can just go with the coil if you want and just coil it. But again, for some of you, because this thing will come undone when you use the wire. Now I'm using a 12 gauge wire. You can use 10 gauge, you can use 14 gauge, you can use whatever gauge you want. It doesn't matter. We tested this thing out with resistance, and just basically going with 0 resistance, so it doesn't matter which one you go to. So basically, just start it off, you know. Dave is going to play the challenged person. He's going to ask questions, hopefully, that you would ask. So I don't have to spend 99 hours on YouTube.
Well, here's the first one then.
Trying to find your result. That's another thing before we go on. If you are sending me questions under YouTube and I can't and I don't respond, it's not that I'm not responding. I don't know where your responses are. YouTube is putting them all over the place, so I have no clue where they are. So if I can't find what's in the first 3 pages, then look at the very top of the page and I will put your name in the dialog box and I'll try to answer you there, because sometimes I just can't find your responses. We've got so many of them now, they're just putting them everywhere nowadays. So
it's not to be rude or anything like that.
No.
It's not that you don't want to communicate.
Yeah. Or just send me an email. You know, the email's on there somewhere, independence@yahoo.com or augment_enforce@yahoo.ca. Send me an email, Dan, if you need a help with something. It's not that I don't want to help you. Sometimes, I just can't find you.
So you're doing. You're doing sticky side out.
Sticky side out.
So that the coil
wire will stick to it.
Right. And what are well, I know what gauges of wire are, but just if people have to.
Basically, it's just the thickness of the wire.
Yeah.
Okay, 10 gauge will allow more electrons to go through than a 14 gauge and a 12. 12 gauge will allow more electrons than a 14 gauge and so on. So the thicker the wire, the more energy will flow through it. But again, the thicker the wire, the harder it is to work with. So the 12 gauge is pretty easy to work with. 14 is easier. 10 gauge gets to be a little bit of a challenge because the wire, it doesn't have the flexibility.
One thing with the gauge is that it's almost counterintuitive. The lower the number, the thicker it is.
Right, exactly.
So if you're saying 13, it means that it's...
Yeah. You can see I'm covering up the Canadian Tire.
Well, I'll take the opportunity to record these.
These are people that are in the fight to save your lives. Not conspirator people, not people that are affluential or have a political interest in politics. They, like me, are concerned about the planet. And they, like me, are concerned about what's going on in the planet. From geoengineering, which is using nano technology. I'm going to explain that a little bit too. Who are trying to keep us alive, because when nanotechnology is released into the atmosphere, it alters everything. DNA, genetics, life, mammalian life, avian life, insect life, reptilian life, everything. And it doesn't, it's not a benefit. If anything it does, it touches, it alters. Some of you have this condition that is, in my opinion, mislabeled badly, called Morgellons. What you have is nanopoisoning. A lot of you have been told you have Lyme. You don't have Lyme. You have nanopoisoning. A lot of you have been told you have mold. You don't have mold. You have nanopoisoning. And even in the dental, going with dentists, getting your mercury fillings taken out, they're putting nanotechnology in. That white stuff that they're putting in there is all nanotech, which is one of the most super highly conductive materials on the planet. It's using graphene. Graphene is pretty mean. See, I can make it rhyme too.
Yeah, you're a poet, you didn't know it.
I'm a poet and I didn't know it. Jeez. Now, I'm going to bring my scissors, so we're going to have to compromise. Magic knife. Now, I probably should have brought scissors. Some of you are going to think that having a magic knife is a prerequisite. It's not a prerequisite. It's just, I got my scissors. Now, I'm going to go to the end here. Okay, that little bit isn't going to matter. Okay, so now you see. Sticky side out. I won't do it. It's a magic knife, won't stick.
It's magic, that's why.
Magically delicious. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut some tape here. If I can do it here. Oh, wow, that worked. I'm impressed.
that tape's very good for ripping.
Basically, rip off a bunch of pieces. And the reason why you're ripping off a bunch of pieces is because as you get coiling, you may want to stop or something happens. You can put a piece of tape to keep it from moving. Okay. Now I'm trying to think of everything that you could ask. I'm sure I'm going to miss something.
Oh, so far so good.
So, you know. But basically, this is just rudimentary, fundamental. Now back to nanotechnology and chemtrails. When chemtrails touch the ground, okay, especially in the food supply, you do not have organics. Organics is such a pile of rubbish today. What's happening in the field today is you have smart dust that they use to regulate the fields, which is incorporating with this technology. So you have a self-assembling technology. And how this works with the self-assembling is that it uses carbon. And we're talking about carbon nanoparticles. If you go on my site, this is a new site, I'm putting the illustration stuff on there. It's at independence.wix.com, carbon-nano, okay? This is what you'll see, okay? This is what you're all being exposed to. This is in your food supply. This is in all your organics, all your non-organics. It makes no difference. Animals are consuming this. You're consuming this, okay? You are also exposed to high levels of this carbon. It is rewriting your DNA. When I did a show, I told people on the show, go to a grocery store and take a look at how much of your food supply is carbon. When you go in, carbon are carbohydrates. When you go in, the first thing you see is a produce section. It's a carbon. You go to the next section, the next aisle, and you see you got a bread aisle. That's all carbon. Pastries and whatnot. You go to the next aisle with the potato chips and the junk food and the snacks. That's all carbon. You go to the next aisle with all the canned, potatoes and the canned corn and the canned beans. It's all carbon. Okay? And then you have one section where it's non-carbon, protein. That's your dairy, your eggs, and your meat. But if you look at the store, one section is non-carbon, the other section is carbon. And don't get caught up on this, it's all carbon-based. It's not all carbon-based. It's been a big, huge lie in this determination. It's not scientific what they've given us, saying that we are a carbon life form. We are not a carbon life form. We have carbon in us, yes, but we have protein bonds that bind us and keep us intact. It's the protein that keeps us. That's the difference. But because they have been feeding us genetically engineered carbon, corn, wheat, soy, and all this other crap, what's happening is your body is mutating, or it has mutated. So as a result, now you're having issues in regard to sugars and stuff that you shouldn't have. Fungus is growing crazy, mold is growing crazy, algae is growing crazy, bacteria is growing crazy, and then you get into a state of you start to go into being alkaline, and then what you wind up getting is a state of alkalosis. So then you're opening yourself up to microbes and viruses and parasites. So be aware that not everything you're hearing is accurate.
Okay, that's around 10 minutes. I don't want to go any farther than that. The link will be in the description on how to make the anti-nano device for yourself. Stay safe, stay strong. My prayers and love is with you all.